Are you looking to create more with less, to stretch your supplies, especially the ones you already own? Me too. Don't put away your stamp and die sets just yet, because today I want to share how you can use them in two totally different ways. These supplies can be an investment, so finding clever ways to use them across multiple projects is a game changer. Yes, we all know they're perfect for card making, but what if you could take your simple stamp and die set and create something different? That's my challenge for today. I'll be creating with stunning supplies from Hip Kit Club and my brand new Ohuhu markers, and of course my stamp and die set. I'll start by making a card and then stretch those supplies out onto a scrapbook layout. You might be surprised at just how different these two projects turn out. Here's a look at the Hip Kit Club main and embellishment kits that I'll be working with today. These are from May 2024. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, these kits are over a year old now. So today I'll be stash busting. I want to show you just how timeless these kits are. It's one of the reasons I love them so much. Keep watching to learn how you can also save on your Ohuhu markers. Thanks, Ohuhu. Here's a close-up look at the stamp set that I'll be working with today. This one is from Pink Fresh Studio, and I am going to stamp it out on some Express It card. This is a specialty card for use with alcohol markers, and today I'm going to be colouring in all of these beautiful florals. I really want the design to stand out here, so I am going to stamp with black ink. This is VersaFine Clear Pigment ink, but I really love the look of embossing, so I'm going to go over the top with this Versamark ink and some embossing powder to create that embossed look. Thank you to all the creatives who helped me find this solution for my embossing. Now let's sit back and watch the magic happen. That's so fun to watch, isn't it? I now have a bunch ready to go for all kinds of projects. It's now time to show you my brand new Ohuhu markers. These are the Honolulu Plus series with the new Supreme brush. A big thank you to Ohuhu for very generously sending me these markers. They're also giving you 10% off your order when you shop with the code GWEN10. I'll be sure to leave a link below. For inspiration, I've pulled out one of the floral pattern papers from the kit, and I'm going to match my markers to those colours in the paper. It's now time to see just how fun they are to work with. It's now time to start building my card. I have put a lot of work into those florals, so now I can keep the rest of the card quite simple. I've chosen a very plain embossing folder. This one is a simple stripe, which I have embossed on vellum. My plan is to use one of the pattern papers from the kit and then to layer this vellum on top. I purposefully chose an embossing folder that was larger than the flowers, and I'm going to use the flowers themselves to determine the size of my card. This is actually version 1 of the card base. Initially, I thought I wanted to have a little bit of space above and below the flowers, but I end up trimming that off. At this point, I hadn't decided where I wanted to place my sentiment, so I did want to give myself a couple of extra options with that. For my sentiment, I am going to be working with this set from Altenew. It is designed for Christmas cards, but I can make a couple of these work year round. Each sentiment comes in 2 pieces, so I'll be cutting the background piece with the pattern paper that I'm working with, and then the text itself with the same card as my card base. If you do like a more dimensional look to your sentiments, you can do what I've done here and cut the text out several times with the cardstock, and then I just layer them all together and glue them in position. If you like this video, then please like this video. And if you haven't subscribed, press that subscribe button like your favorite sticker to a scrapbook. Subscribing doesn't just help my channel grow, it tells YouTube that you want to see more of my videos, so you won't miss a thing. It was right about now that I decided I did want that sentiment more in the center of the card, so that excess that I left above and below the florals, I'm not going to need. I'll trim that off and then assemble the card. For a simple card, this is quite layered. I have my card base and then a pattern paper from the kit. Then comes my vellum and the die cut florals. On top of that, I have my sentiment, and I'm going to finish out the card with one of these pre-made bows. These are from my extensive bow stash because yes, I'm all about them bows. I do want even more dimension, so I am going to add the card front onto the base with some foam tape. Here's what it looks like, and here are the close-up details. So that's the card finished. I love the purple. It's super cute, isn't it? It's now time to transform these supplies and pop them onto a scrapbook layout. I really think you'll be surprised at just how different these look. I'll be creating with this photo of me and my craft room supervisor. His name is Ferris, and I've gone ahead and coloured a bunch of the die cuts. I want lots to work with here. It may not look like it in the end projects, but yes, the colours for all of the florals are exactly the same. Now here is my plan. One set of florals is not going to be large enough to stretch out over my layout. So I'm going to create a cluster of them to use as a base and the structure for the page. Initially, I was thinking something like this that was more weighted on the left-hand side there, but spoiler alert, I totally changed my mind. In the past, I have described scrapbooking a little bit like a game of chess, in that when I'm creating, I am not just focusing on what I'm doing right now, but I am also thinking a couple of moves ahead. The moves ahead I'm thinking about right now is my title. I need to have a plan for my title before I commit to sticking these florals down. And that's when I realised that this is not the direction I really want to go in. So here is plan B. Rather than having the florals floating and in a cluster, I want to anchor them to this strip of pattern paper. Initially, I do try this running horizontally across the page, but I do end up going with a vertical option, which you'll see here in a moment. You may have noticed too that I've cut several of these in half, and that's a great way to make them feel bigger than they actually are, to really stretch them out. I'm also going to use one of those straight edges from the cut to create a cluster that's sort of anchored on the side of the page there. I've kept all this auditioning in the video on purpose. I want you to see that I try lots of different combinations before I commit to something. Here's where I have my aha moment and decide, yes, this is where I want things to be. I've pushed the floral pieces all the way to the right, and that's allowed me to have that cluster at the top and all that lovely white space there on the left. Now I can fully commit to sticking this all down. Notice how I'm not lining up the florals exactly. What I'm focusing on here is the beautiful line that I'm creating around the outside edge where the leaves are all connected. I know the mess in the middle is going to be covered up by my strip of pattern paper. Time for some more auditioning, and this time it's my title. It does not stay there. Then I realise I haven't added stitching to this paper strip. I do have stitching around the edge of the layout and around the edge of my photo. Adding it to the paper strip as well really helps pull the page together. It gives it a very cohesive look. This is the moment in the creating process that I really enjoy. It's almost like a checkpoint for me. I feel like all the structure of the layout is now complete and I'm very happy with things. Now I get to just play. I can audition all of the embellishments in all of the places. Now I've said it before and I will say it again. These kits are always filled with so many beautiful supplies and that's an amazing thing. But for me, it can also bring about a little bit of overwhelm, and I do have a trick to combat that. My secret is that right now I'm looking more for things to exclude than I am for things to include. If I come across an embellishment that could work, I have the personality type that will want to audition it. So what I need to do is exclude a bunch of things first. Sometimes those things will be excluded because of their size or shape. Sometimes it will be the theme of the page that they don't quite fit. And for this layout, I'm focusing just on colour. I'm looking for anything that's in a pretty green, yellow or orange. This is the first project I've created with this kit, so I have so much to choose from. I know that gorgeous blue and the mint green there, I'll be able to use those colours next time. I know for me, having fewer supplies really does help me choose what I use. I know it does in some way seem weird in that you would think that if you have more choices, you've got lots of options. But options for me are not always a good thing. So I do have a very clear plan of where the page is going and I can really enjoy this process. I am now going to start working on my embellishment clusters and I do have a plan for where these are going to go as well. Normally I'd go with 3 embellishment clusters and I'd position them in a way that I would create a visual triangle with my photo in the center. But because I have this vertical strip of pattern paper and everything is very anchored towards the right, I'm going to keep my embellishments in that same flow. When I'm thinking about where to put my clusters, I'm thinking a lot about how the eye will travel across the page. For this page, I'm thinking left to right, but it will also travel down the page along that paper strip. So I am going to build out a small cluster in the top left-hand corner, but then all of the other embellishments will be linked very closely to that paper strip. I also let the supplies themselves help guide me. So I might start like I did for this layout by creating an embellishment cluster that's not connected to anything. So I'll just start by building the cluster and then find the perfect spot for it on the layout. That was certainly the case for the award ribbon, the circle with the ribbons on the bottom there. I really wasn't sure where or how that was going to fit on this layout, but it matched with my colours and I was able to create a really cute layered cluster that I could then find a spot for. The other little trick I'll mention here too is that some of these embellishments had other colours in them that weren't being represented on the page. So for example, there's this round puffy sticker here that says just what we needed. On the top right-hand corner of that, there is a purple flower. This embellishment is perfect for the page, so what I need to do is find a way to cover up just that little detail. It actually ends up being a win-win because my colour is covered, but I've also created dimension and texture and layers within the embellishment cluster. If you are struggling with your embellishment clusters, here's your reminder that it is okay and sometimes quite necessary for you to cover things up. To create layers within your clusters and on your page, you do have to sacrifice some elements. Some very pretty things do need to be sacrificed for the greater good. I've also created a playlist that's full of videos that talk a lot about embellishment clusters. I'll be sure to link that here for you. My main embellishment cluster ends up being above the top right-hand corner of my photo. Oh, and I have to talk to you about these. These are a sticker, but they are lovely. They're almost like a washi tape sticker. They come on this really sturdy backing, and I'm going to cut one out so that I can audition it in all the places. Once it's stuck on the paper, it's got this really beautiful washi type feel to it, so you can see the pattern paper very slightly underneath. If you've got stickers like this in your stash, you do need to be quite strategic about where you place them, because if you place them onto a really dark, busy pattern paper, they can get lost. So I would recommend light, simple designs for these to go on top of. So remember when I was talking about consistency on the page and adding in all of those layers of stitching? Well, I have another way that I've created this really consistent look for this page. This really just happened as I was creating, but once I noticed it, I really leaned into it. It's repeating elements. So flowers, yes, but also circles. I also really like that many of the flowers that I used to create the clusters are very circular in nature. Everything's working here together really nicely. Now, title for this page kind of took a twist because I ended up using lots and lots of words here. There ends up being two titles. The first one is on top of the award ribbon here, and it will say, "Hello, restful day." The second is the word weekend, which is the one that I cut out right at the very, very beginning. It's crazy to me actually that the yellow in the word weekend is the perfect match to the yellow that I coloured in the flowers with, because remember, I matched that yellow to a random piece of paper that was in the kit. It goes to show just how well these kits are put together and how all of the different types of embellishments coordinate with the papers so beautifully. This page would have looked very different had that word been in, say, pink, because it would be then the pink that I would have pulled from the collection, and this layout would have been a pink and something combo. Kind of reminds me of that saying, things always work out best for those who make the best of how things work out. That's why I always go with the flow of my supplies, and I let my supplies really determine the direction for my projects. Things are getting serious because I'm gluing stuff down. I've worked my way through all of the embellishments, and it's really just a matter now of adding the finishing touches. Some of the flower centers were not in line with this beautiful color combo that I have going on, so I do need to cover those up. I'm going to use some of the smaller puffy stickers to do that. They are the perfect size. I also want to build out that top embellishment cluster just a little more. At this point in the layout, I am looking at the balance of the page. I want to balance out the embellishment clusters, but also the colors that I've used. Look at me being reckless. I'm using liquid glue on those acetate floral pieces. I am being careful though. I'm using very, very little, and I'm making sure that any glue that I add is going to be hidden underneath my other layers. And that's the layout complete. Here you can see all the details, the colouring in that I've done with my Ohuhu markers, the layers within all of the embellishment clusters, and that gorgeous washi tape style butterfly. Check the link below to find the project sheet, which will include all the measurements and the supplies I've used. If you are in the market for new craft supplies, Be sure to check the links below to save 10% off your orders for both Hip Kit Club and Ohuhu. If you've enjoyed watching me stretch my supplies and are looking for even more inspiration, be sure to watch this video next. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do this challenge again, perhaps next time with paper punches or something else. I'll see you all again very soon. Until then, bye!